Good morning. It is July 16th, 2024, another hot and muggy day. I've just finished reinstalling my cruise control servo. I left it in my shed overnight to let the RTV sealant dry, but it needs to cure another 12 hours or 10 to 12 hours before I test the car out. So I'm not going to start the car or anything until this evening when it's time to do that test drive. So what I'm going to do today is my first attempt at pulling these lights out where they belong so that I can aim them instead of them pointing off to the side, pointing straight out toward the front like they're supposed to, so I have the option of driving the car at night. Right now I really can't do that. My approach is to remove the front grille assembly again, which is not too difficult. I've had it off recently. I don't think I'll need to remove the bumper. I shouldn't have to do that. And then there, underneath here, I'll have to remove the vacuum reservoir that's attached on the back. And whoever did the partial repair on the fender years ago, they have a bolt in there that's kind of holding some things together. I think I need to remove that bolt so it'll free up that the metal backing that's behind here that this all mounts to. So I don't know if I'm going to be successful, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. So first comes the grill. Alright, 15 minutes later or so, I have the grill removed. The hardest part is always getting this center nut and bolt loose right here. I tried something different this time where I actually snuck with my hands underneath past the license plate. I was able to get this joint, this universal joint thing over here, aim it toward the grill, and then push through the grill, this extension, connect it together, and that left this part on the other side. I was able to loosen it, put the wrench on the other side, hold the bolt. I don't think I've done it quite that way before, but at least I didn't have to disassemble other parts of the car to get to it. So over here on this side is where I'm going to be concentrating on work. You can see how far back this whole assembly has been pushed back because of the accident that this car had at one time. You know, when I look at it like this, it's like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to try. I got to. On this side, you can see the difference, you know, how far forward it is and straight and all that. So I don't know if I'll be able to bend this back or not, but I'm going to work on it. Like I said before, there's a bolt, and I can see it right there, that I think I might need to loosen. I'm not sure what it's attached to, but I'll check on that and see what I can do. I'm hoping I can, I don't know, attach something that I can pull with without damaging things too bad. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of luck with that, but because body work, as I've stated a few times, is not my forte, but I'm going to give it a shot. Something else I wanted to point out that I had never noticed before, and I should have, but never paid that much attention, but looking at the grill part, this whole piece here has also been pushed back, pulled back that way, because it, you know, when you attach it, it just naturally pulls it back. So I also, looks like I'm also going to have to figure out a way to bend here too. I think it's just this part of the bracket here. I hope it doesn't break as I'm trying to bend it back, or I might be shopping online for another housing assembly here to attach to it. This one I can see is much straighter, so yeah, just looking at this, you can really see the difference, how straight this is compared to this one. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this goes. Alright, my first attempt at trying to move this metal was not successful. I just took a 2x4 and a little sledgehammer and banged at it a few times, and I don't think it moved at all. And it's probably not going to work that way, so I think I'm going to try and cheat this process. So what I'm doing now is I'm focused on here. I've already removed the trim piece around the headlights. I'm going to take this off too, so this whole assembly is separate. I can take it in my hands, take it to the vise, and what I'm going to do with it is this part here, which is obviously bent, I'm going to force it straight so that it looks like this, straight across. And assuming that I don't break it in that process, I think this is all steel, but hopefully nothing breaks when I do that. Try to put it back. Then my intention is to bring it back. I'll reattach it to the grill and test fit it, see how it does. And rather than, if that works, then the only parts that I'll leave connected are right here, and I'm not going to bother with this. I mean, I guess I could try to find some kind of bushings maybe, so there is an attachment point. I might look at that. I don't know if I want to even mess with that. That might work. I don't know. I kind of doubt it though, because I'd have to use longer bolts on the inside and all that, but I'm hoping that just kind of leave it hanging freely. If I straighten this up, might be good enough to get me by until someday I get my fender replaced and the header replaced. And this thing here, this grill, I replaced it last year, so that's why I don't want to try and bend this while it's still attached to that grill. I'm afraid I might break it. So I'm going to disconnect this now and take it to my vise inside the shed and see if I can straighten it out some. Alright, it turns out this metal is pretty malleable. It bended fairly easily. The only problem is, I suspected might happen, it tore right here. It's still usable, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just get another one of these assemblies from an aftermarket supplier. I'll figure out who later on, but this is still usable, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back, or at least I'm going to test the fit right now and see how it does. So I think this might work. I mean, for my purposes, until I can get the fender replaced and all that. We'll see how this looks when I put it back in. All right, I have reassembled this front grille assembly. The headlights are back in place. The little springs are tied in place here. These are tight. Everything is tight. So just looking at it straight on, it looks a lot better than it did before, and that was the goal. I'm not sure it's exactly as straight as the other one, but if I had to, I think I could safely bend it a little bit more. So I'm going to lift it back in place here and see what it's looking like. All right, I'm rather pleased. I think this is going to work. I've just got it supported temporarily with that little tool there, needle nose pliers. Of course, this looks kind of wonky now because now the headlights are sticking out, more like they're supposed to. But the fender, remember, has been crushed in, so I expected it to look like that. The important thing is that these are now more straight on, pointing to the front like they're supposed to. So I should be able to aim them. They might already be pretty close anyway, since I got them pretty well lined up. One thing I noticed as far as adjustments go, there's a pretty good sized gap here, which is probably normal, and on the other side there's really hardly any gap at all. It tells me I need to adjust this bumper end. It is adjustable. I can push it out further if I can access the two bolts that are behind here. There may or may not be enough room to get in there to do that, and if there's not, that's okay, but that's minor. So the important thing, of course, is I can't attach behind here, because that would just pull it back and bend it again. So I'm only going to attach on this side, and I think that's going to be good enough. I mean, that's really what I was after. So this is something I probably should have done a long time ago. So far, so good. All right, before I tighten anything down, any attaching bolts, I'm going to turn the lights on, make sure everything is operational, just in case I have a loose plug or something at the headlight. We'll see what it looks like here. All right, all four lights are on. Can't wait to drive it tonight. It should be a lot better as far as proper coverage. All right, I've just taken the final step for this little job here. So now the grill is in place, pretty much like it's supposed to be. Not perfect, but a lot better than it was. So now I feel comfortable driving this car at night. Everything is secured behind it. The last step I had to take was to find a different way to secure this third arm of the reservoir, what you're looking at right there. See the little screw? I had to use a self-tapping screw in my drill just to attach it. It went right through, and now it's secure. The reason I had to do that is because this metal piece there with the hole in it is pushed back from the accident. So the grill part with the headlight behind it or in it doesn't reach anymore. It doesn't stick through the hole where I used to mount it. So I had to do something temporary. That whole metal piece that screw is attached to, that will be replaced as part of the replacement fender that I've had in my garage since last year. Someday I'll get that on, but that's it for this little project. So that worked out pretty well. So now I just need to wait for the end of the day to come so I can test that cruise control again. All right, my patience is at an end. I'm not going to wait the full 24 hours for the RTB sealant to seal. I'm sure it's cured. It's been so hot in the last couple of days. It's been about 22 hours out of 24. I think that's good enough to test that cruise control. One thing I forgot in my wrap up on the front grille work I did this morning, I was able to move this bumper end out a little more, so there's a noticeable gap here like there should be. And it dawned on me later on, looking at this other side, that this one probably needs to move in a little bit. So I may decide to play with that at some point. Not a big deal, obviously. But I'm just happy that the front grille worked out as well as it did. But now the main event is the cruise control. So I'm going to try these earbuds because I noticed those other ones I've been using. They don't seem to like the car when it's running. So we'll go back to the earbuds temporarily just for this test drive. See how it goes. After adding that extra refrigerant to the system the other day, I could definitely tell the air conditioning is working a lot better, and it's in the upper 90s today, and it feels very comfortable in here. So I'm very pleased with how the air conditioning system is working. So we're going to take the first stab at the cruise control here. Uh, well, I'll get it up to 55 and press the button here and see what happens. Okay, engaged. Now it looks like it still has the drop that it's had, 3 or 4 miles per hour. Actually, it looked like it only dropped about 2 miles per hour that time. Maybe sealing that unit will help that problem too. I don't know. So now here's the real test. Will it accelerate when I push this button in? Let's see what happens. Come on, baby. Accelerate for me. Come on. Come on. She's still not doing it. Doing the same thing I did yesterday, which was it felt like it was trying, but nothing was really happening. It wasn't slowing down as much as it does when you first set it, but it was definitely losing speed. So I don't know. I don't really know what's causing that. I still have the bellows to replace. Well, that'll come in on Thursday. I don't see how that could possibly be affecting the acceleration function, but who knows? Maybe it does. So this is interesting though. It does seem like the drop is not 4 miles per hour anymore. Let me try it again. We'll set it at 60 here. Press the button. Let's see how much it drops. Splits off the pedal, going down. Yeah, the drop is less. It only dropped about 2 miles per hour. That's interesting. So sealing up the unit, which is the only thing that's been done yesterday after all that troubleshooting and testing, does seem to have helped something at least. It looks like the drop is now about 2 miles per hour instead of 4. So I'm at a red light, so I'm going to stop recording for a minute. All right, green light. I'm going to go back up to 60, press the button, and see what happens. Okay, we're at 60. I press the button, puts off the pedal. Let's see how far it goes down. Okay, some car in front of me. I have to step on the brake. Yeah, the amount of reduction is definitely less. So that's interesting. Sealing up the case set it so, or helped it, so now it's only losing 2 miles per hour when I set it instead of 4. That's interesting. But anyway, so the next step is to replace that bellows, and that'll be Thursday when that comes in. So we'll see how it goes then. All right, I'm wrapping this up. Back home now. I did some more testing as I was driving around, and I can definitely confirm the drop in speed when I engage it is now more like 2 miles per hour. There's still a slight drop, but it's negligible. I still don't have an accelerate function, so I'm supposed to get my bellows in a couple more days, my new bellows, so we'll see if that makes any difference. Just keep eliminating possibilities until it's done. Have a good evening. Thanks.